In this video, I'm going to show you how to use German new medicine to heal your colitis. And the reason why German new medicine works and all these holistic diets and these drugs do not work is because it doesn't address the root cause of the issue. I've healed myself, I've helped many other people heal, and they've healed to the extent where they can eat whatever they want and have perfectly formed stools, no gut pain, and they're back to living a normal life again. This is very easy to do if you understand the root cause and you use German new medicine. German new medicine makes healing this so-called incurable disease very, 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 very easy. You can get rid of your food intolerances overnight if you understand German new medicine, and we're going to go over this in this video. Look down below and you'll see a lot of my testimonials, or you can go on my website if you're not there already. This is super easy, but you kind of have to understand how to use German medicine to do this. It is very simple. So the problem is, so let's first talk about what colitis is. Colitis is inflammation of your colon. And inflammation is your body's response to injury. So a lot of you didn't get stabbed in the colon, you didn't shoot glass up your butt, you didn't eat glass. So where is this injury coming from? We're going to get to that in a second. But, the way modern medicine treats colitis is just awful. They pump these immunosuppressants into you, and, your colon is becoming inflamed for a very specific reason, and modern medicine is just trying to mask that by chemically reducing the inflammation, which is just stupid. They also do some other dumb things, like they just cut it out and they pretend like that's going to fix the issue, where that usually just makes things worse, and then you have to wear a bag of poop as a fashion accessory for the rest of your life. So chances are you already thought your GI doctor was a moron, and he is. And you are doing your own homework, and good for you. So when you start doing your own homework, the first thing you're going to ask yourself is oh, diet has to be it. Diet has to be it. I've been doing this for a while, guys, and diet has very little to do with it. If junk food caused colitis, everybody would have colitis. Especially in today when there's so many people eating junk food. There's people who eat junk food until the day that they die, and they never develop colitis, never even come close to it. So food is not causing this. And I have had people follow perfectly clean diets before, and they were still suffering from colitis symptoms. So it's not the diet. I know it's a good guess, but it's not the diet. And then we have the gut microbiome. Again, we kind of have, the holistic society, holistic doctors and holistic nutritionists and stuff telling us to eat more probiotics, shoot poop up your butt, and, take disinfectants, take herbal disinfectants and stuff like that. And again, they're not really seeing good results with this. And then we can go look at our friends and family who don't have colitis, and, they take antibiotics every year, and, they never eat a probiotic in their life, yet their gut microbiome is fine. What's that all about? So again, it's really not the gut microbiome. I know that's a biggie, but we'll talk more about this in a little bit. And then we have people who are from the toxin realm. Oh, you need the detox. You need to get this out. You can't touch plastic. Oh my God, you can't touch this. You can't cook with plastic. It's causing your toxins to get into your blood and giving you colitis. Again, that's kind of nonsense, because again, you look at the modern human, and many of them do not have colitis, and they're exposed to all sorts of toxins. And so, where do we go from here? And this is where German new medicine comes in. And really hits the nail over the head. So when people start using German new medicine, I had people doing all these things right. They did the diet perfectly. They did the gut, they were disinfecting, and they were reculturing. It would be impossible for a bad bacteria and fungi to live in here. And then they did all these detox protocols, and they still had inflammation in their colon. It didn't make any sense until I learned German New Medicine. So German New Medicine is a whole new way to think about how the diseased organs function. So the first bear with, this is going to be very different, and you've never ever heard of anything like this before. So I want you to be patient with me and try not to jump to conclusions, because you really can't compare it to anything else that you know. So German New Medicine was founded by a German doctor named Dr. Hammer. And he made these discoveries. He treated cancer patients, but he extended his knowledge to like the whole body. So people with colitis, so for a lot of you, your symptoms started shortly after a stressful event in your life. The vast majority of you did not get symptoms until shortly after a stressful event in your life. And what Dr. Hammer saw is with people with colitis, they had a Hammer focus in a very specific location in the brain, 100% of the time. So he was, and he also saw this, like if somebody had testicle cancer or breast cancer or something like that, or heart disease or lung cancer, they all had these Hammer focuses, these ring-shaped formations on their CT scans in a very specific location, depending on what organ was affected with the disease. And so what's happening with the colon is when this stressful event happens to you and you experience it as something we call an ugly indigestible morsel. So it might be a bad breakup where you felt betrayed. It might be an ugly divorce, or ugly fights over property or money or business. It's a situation, an ugly indigestible morsel, an ugly thing in your life. And so when you experience this negative event, we call it a conflict shock. This conflict shock, it catches you off guard, and all of a sudden, boom, we're going to see a Hammer focus develop, a ring-shaped formation develop in the brain where the colon is controlled. So that would be in the brainstem. And in your psyche, your thoughts, you're going to start obsessing over this conflict. Like, okay, what do I need to do to solve this problem? You're going to have a fast heartbeat, cold hands and cold feet. You might have trouble sleeping. You might be like anxious, and your thoughts are going to be obsessing about the problem, trying to fix it. This is what's happening in the psyche and in the brain. But on the organ level, you're not going to experience much symptoms, but there's stuff going on here. So on the organ level, your colon, your brain is telling your colon to develop more gut tissues. And we see evidence of this when you get a colonoscopy and you have polyps. These little polyps. So you have like these little growths growing on your colon, like this, all over your colon. It depends on how intense the conflict is. But what's happening, what these growths are doing, this is cell proliferation. So this is like a significant biological special program your body is running to help you digest this indigestible situation, this indigestible morsel in your life. So these are like specialized cells to help you absorb and digest your food or this indigestible morsel in your life. The brain, the psyche, the brain doesn't know the difference between, something like internal and external. So what's going on here? So that's what's happening. And then when you resolve the conflict, let's say you find a new boyfriend or girlfriend, that court case gets settled. You know, that bad business deal finally is over with. You know, you parted ways with that person. You know, this ugly situation is over. Now you have resolved the conflict, and you're going to go into the healing phase. So now all these gut cells, they're no longer needed. So this is where the bacteria and the fungi come in, and they help remove this extra tissue. And you're going to get pain, you're going to get gas, and there's a few other symptoms, but the big one being diarrhea. Or we're going this way. So the main one's going to be diarrhea, blood, and mucus in your stool, because you're losing the cell removal. You're losing cells. You're losing cells. So this is all supposed to happen. You know, you get diarrhea for a week or two, and you know you're back to your life again. But what happens when someone who has colitis or ulcerative colitis or even diverticulitis is this process doesn't stop. And this process keeps going, and it's something that we call a hanging healing in German New Medicine. It's because you encounter tracks. And tracks are things that remind you of the original conflict. So let's say you get broken up with from your girlfriend or something. Every time that you see her or talk to her, or you see something that reminds you of her, it reactivates this program. So it's going to pull you out of the healing phase, put you back into the conflict active phase, and now it's going to rerun the program. And so what we need to do is identify these tracks and neutralize them. It's kind of like if you have ever seen a dog that's been beat with a newspaper. Every time they see that newspaper, they can't help it but to cower in fear. And this is kind of what's happening to us, but like in a different way. Every time our body sees something that reminds us of this conflict, you know, our bad breakup, it reruns the symptoms, which are going to be, cell removal, diarrhea, blood, and mucus, and all that fun stuff. So we need to identify and neutralize these tracks. And the way that we do this is, so let's say it's, you see your girlfriend and you have bloody diarrhea. So what's going to happen is you're going to go to the bathroom and crap your brains out, and then you're going to blame it on food. You're going to blame it on dairy first because that's what your stupid GI doctor told you. And then you're going to blame it on gluten next because that's what your stupid nutritionist told you. And in reality, it was this track linked to seeing your ex-girlfriend or your ex-boyfriend. But when you're sitting on the toilet and you're blaming different foods, all of a sudden those get established as tracks. And now when you eat those foods, your psyche's like, wow, these things are dangerous, and you get symptoms. So to resolve your food tracks, what you need to do is convince yourself that these foods are safe. Be like, hey, Jesus and God told me I could eat dairy and bread. Why not? This food is safe. The conflict is already resolved. The big thing is to tell yourself the conflict is already resolved. We're broken up. I got a new girlfriend. I got a new business partner. The conflict is resolved. I am safe. These foods are safe. They have nutrients in it. They have energy in it. They taste good. These foods are safe. And you'll even feel it in you, like this wave of relief. But the way that we neutralize our other tracks, so like seeing your ex-girlfriend, that's usually not a pleasant situation. Seeing your ex in public, you're like, ugh. You feel like that shot of adrenaline just like surge through your body. So a good sign, well, it's not a good sign, but a sign that you have encountered a track is, one, you get symptoms. So you'll get diarrhea shortly after. I'm not kidding you guys. Like sometimes it's seconds, sometimes it's minutes. You'll get symptoms shortly after. And then the second one is you get emotional. So like you see your ex-girlfriend and maybe you get angry, maybe you get sad, maybe you get fearful or scared. You become emotional. More of a negative emotion, not like happy. Like you'll experience a negative emotion. So let's say you had a bad business deal go bad, and now maybe you're very sensitive to someone lying to you, even if it's like a white lie, like, oh, your hair looks good today, and it like doesn't, or like, oh, hey, that's a good haircut, and then you like look at it and you're like, oh, that's bad, and you get like angry, oh, this person didn't tell me the truth, da 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 da, where they're, when you like lose it, or you go into like, you're very sad or fearful or scared, you get moved off your center, your emotional center. That is a good sign. That's a sign that you experienced a track. And so what you need to do is every time someone tells me a white lie or they tell me a small lie, I get super offended and I get super emotional. And that's because I was told a lie in the past about our business, and it really, really hurt me. And you'll feel this wave of relief when you get it, when you know you got it. You'll feel this, whew, and you're hitting on a track. You can just talking about, oh, I remember, oh, that my ex and da 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 da. You'll feel like the rage and the fire, or maybe the fear and the sadness just like build up inside of you. That's another sign that could be a track. Just talking about it can bring on symptoms and make you emotional. So what are the things you get emotional about? Those are probably your tracks. And then see how it connects back to your conflict. Because if you think about it, we're all a product of our environment but especially, like our personality is like a product of our environment and our experiences. So, and especially, we're like fear-driven creatures. So like the things that hurt us the most are going to like shape our personality and like our actions the most, because we want to avoid this pain in the future. So that's why we have these tracks, to try to help keep us safe. But if we don't identify them and resolve them, then this colitis program, the significant biological special program of the colon, just keeps running and running and running and running, and it's just going to be a mess. First, you're going to start to develop ulcerative colitis, then you're going to start to develop diverticulitis, with all these pockets and stuff. So if you are diagnosed with colitis, what you need to do is identify and neutralize these tracks, and eating protein's good, and trying to eat a clean diet is good, but yeah. And again, the gut microbiome is controlled by your brain, or these significant biological special programs. They will not go away until the healing phase is allowed to complete. And I know that sounds crazy, but how many people do you know that eat like a perfect diet and do all the probiotics and the disinfecting things, and they still can't have a piece of cake on their birthday? There's a lot of them. So that's essentially what you need to do to heal colitis. It's very easy. Now, I know German New Medicine is new for a lot of you guys, but if you would like if you want me to like hold your hand through this process, because it takes a little while to understand German New Medicine. So if you want my help and the help of my staff, it would be best for you to sign up for my Rapid Gut Healing Program. It is $497 or 6 easy payments, monthly payments of $97. And what it will give you is over 10 hours of video where I explain to you German New Medicine, I explain to you the diet I would recommend and some supplements that will help you. But these things are optional, but the German New Medicine is really where you see the results. Like, I'm not kidding. Food intolerance is gone in like a day. I've had people who've had bloody diarrhea and mucus for years, and like literally within a week or two, it just stops. It's because you stop running this program that's just tearing you to shreds. So it also comes with a Facebook group, a private Facebook group where myself and my coaches will answer all of your questions to make sure that you understand this correctly so you can get better as fast as possible. We also have a workbook where I have supplements listed and worksheets you can fill out to kind of help you figure out your conflicts and figure out your tracks. I have it also has like a meal plan if you want to follow the meal plan. And we also do live Q&As twice a week where you can jump on a Zoom call with us and I'll answer all your questions. And this is an insane value. I mean, I spent $4.97 just like going into the doctor's. I'd spend like $30 on gas getting there. I'd have to take time off of work, so I was getting paid like $40 an hour at my last job. So I had to take like 3 hours off of work. So that's like $200 right there. And sit in traffic. Get super frustrated. He'd give me some drugs that would do absolutely nothing. I have to pay a copay and all just. At the end of this thing, and he would send me in the wrong direction. He didn't even try to help me understand what was going on. Like, just visiting my GI doctor once would cost me a couple $100, and I'd get absolutely nothing out of it. Nothing. Worse than nothing. I would be sent backwards. When you go to see holistic nutritionists and stuff like that, and holistic doctors, again, they're not going to be covered by insurance. They're going to be at least $100 to go visit, not including, time you got to take off of work and driving and all that stuff. And then they're going to tell you to buy super expensive supplements that do absolutely nothing. Because remember, you can do all these things right, but if you don't shut off this program, it's just going to keep running and you're just going to flush all these expensive supplements and these expensive foods down the toilet. If you're going to do coaching, it's at least $100 an hour, at least. And you're going to need to talk to them multiple times. Many of them, that doesn't include, videos that you can just watch whenever you want. Most of the other programs out there that claim to heal colitis, I'm the only one out there who will show you how to heal your colon to the extent where you can eat whatever you want and never have to worry about it ever again. All of my competitors, they have you stuck on like plant-based diets and have you spending hundreds of dollars on supplements and everything has to be clean and organic, which I do recommend, but it's not required. And I do know a lot of you live in locations where organic food is literally impossible to get your hands on and like very expensive. I can show you how to fix all this without all that nonsense, because it actually addresses the root cause of the issue. So I normally sell my course for $1,000, but I can tell you're serious if you're getting to the end of this video and you're still listening. I want to give you this crazy, insane value for $4.97. I know that might sound like a lot, but like I remember saving up that amount of money when I was like in middle school to buy myself like a Nintendo. I'm going on a skiing trip in a couple of days, and just to like rent skis and get there and ski for the day is like $500. I want to help save your life, stop all the pain, stop all the suffering, make it so you can eat foods and have a social life again. And all I'm asking for is for you to like, buy me dinner once or twice. Going out to dinner at a nice restaurant, it's like $100, $200 now, depending on, if you live somewhere in like Europe or America. That's all I'm asking. And your risk is 100% covered. I have a money back guarantee. If you don't get the results you want, I'll give you your money back. So, but I do have a lot of free information on my YouTube channel. But if you want to have like your handheld and to make sure that you're doing all this stuff right, I strongly suggest you sign up for my Rapid Gut Healing program. It's always good to have a plan It's always good to know people, because there's not a lot of people that practice German New Medicine. It's a very, very, very small community. And I have a Facebook group filled with people who are really good with German New Medicine. Some of my students and my coaches we'll make sure that you understand this stuff. It took me 6 months of trying to understand this stuff, but my students, they understand it in like a week, because I have explained it to many, many people. I'm really good, and there's a lot of there's a few German New Medicine coaches out there, but they're pretty expensive. They're like $200 an hour, and they don't specialize in the gut. I specialize in the gut. Many German New Medicine practitioners, they specialize in all sorts of places all over the body. I specialize in the gut. I've seen it all. I know how to get you to where you need to go super fast, because I've done it a bunch of times. Just go look at the testimonials down below. It is easy if you know what to do, and you have someone guiding you. And again, you don't have much to go off of, because German New Medicine is not, everyone else in our society is telling you to do like the exact opposite of what, German New Medicine is just like so different. You need someone with experience in the knowledge to help you through this journey. And I want to help you do that. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you for watching, and I hope to work with you soon. Bye-bye.